But it's not, again, it's not just the universities, it's every bureaucracy, it's every organization is happening like this. So you look at Canada. In Canada, you can see a rise of 9% in the population, but look at the government, okay? It went up by 26%. In America, you can see a sharp decline in manufacturing jobs starting in about the 1980s because these jobs are being offshored to China. But at the same time, you see this steady increase in government jobs. Okay? So people in America are doing less real work, and more people are becoming bureaucrats. Okay. So as you can see, the growth in the government is usually in management. Okay? People who will work? No, it's pretty flat. But look at the managers, look at the administrators, okay? They're going way up, and it's a pretty steady increase. All right, so how do we know the government doesn't really do anything? Okay, so there's a study that shows us that it's looking at rules, okay? So rules help society be more efficient. So as you can see, the number of rules have gone down actually. The number of significant rules that actually impact you day to day have gone way down. But, this is interesting, the paperwork has gone up. Okay? So this tells us the managers, the administrators in the federal government of the United States, they don't do anything but produce paperwork that's meaningless. That has actually no impact on the lives of ordinary people. Okay? Okay, let's look at the military. So everyone believes that America has the world's greatest military because it spends the most on the military and has all these high-tech weapons, right? The problem is the bureaucracy in the military right now. So you see what's happening is an increase in management because the ratio of manager, officer to soldier is going down. Okay, so you have more officers and less soldiers. That's a problem when you're fighting a war. All right, so in the Civil War, and this is the 1860s, you had one officer for every 14 soldiers. Now it's 1 to 4. Okay? The biggest problem is the increase in generals. Okay, so you can see 3- and 4-star generals have increased the most. In World War II, America had about 12 million soldiers. They had 7 generals who were 4-star. Today, America has about 1.2 million soldiers. They have 40 4-star generals. And this is a huge problem. Why? Because if you're a 4-star general, you have a lot of privileges beyond your salary. So this is from Raymond Dubas, who works in the Pentagon, and he writes about the perks of a 4-star general. A 4-star has an airplane. A 3-star often doesn't. Can a 3-star get an airplane when he needs it? Not always. Okay? So a 4-star general always has his own personal airplane. What is his personal airplane? It's called a G5. This is what a G5 is, guys. This is what a G5 is. This is his own personal plane. It's always there for him. If he doesn't want to fly, it's waiting on the tarmac for him, okay? You can see how luxurious it is. This costs $50 to $60 million per plane. Every 4-star general has this plane. At the same time, guys, what's happening to soldiers? The soldiers don't have enough to eat. There's 1.2 million veterans on food stamps. Okay, that's 8% of all veterans in America. The people who actually fight, the people who actually make sacrifices for their country, don't have enough to eat, while the generals fly around in like these really nice planes. That's the state of the American military. All right, so it's not just the military, it's every single US government department, okay? All the administrators, you see massive increase in administration. All right, so people who do real work, okay, is in the red. People who do absolutely no work is in the blue, okay? So people who do science, math, engineering, 621. People who do administration, 1782. So in every federal bureaucracy, you have bloat. You have managers who do nothing, and you have very few people who do the actual real work. It's true for every single federal organization in America. So this just shows you the ratio of managers and supervisors to other employees. What's really funny about bureaucracy is evaluation is very important. Who does the evaluation? Managers do the evaluation. So at the end of the year, they do performance review, and what happens is they evaluate themselves and their friends and say, "You really did a great job." And they then look at other people who do the real work and says, "You guys can do better, okay?" So outstanding is the highest performance review for the government, right? 64% got outstanding, okay? Managers who do nothing every day. 47% got outstanding for every other job. All right? So it's a rigged game. Same thing with hospitals. The brown is the growth in doctors. You can see it's pretty steady. But look at the administrators. Okay? The yellow are the administrators. It's blowing up, okay? And so it forces healthcare costs to go up. The reason why healthcare is so unaffordable in the United States is not because it has the best healthcare in the world. It doesn't. It's expensive because it's got so many administrators who do nothing every day. All right? So what do these managers do? Well, the managers always think of new ways to screw everyone else. Okay, so these are health insurance companies. And this is their denial rates, okay? So you work hard for 40 years, you pay your health insurance, okay? And then maybe you get cancer. And then you go to the doctor charges you like $1 million. And you're like, you don't have $1 million, but you have insurance, so you go to an insurance company. It's like, hey, I paid 40 years of insurance fees. Can you help me out? And look, the insurance company, United Healthcare, about a third, 32% of all claims are denied. And they do this as practice because if you fight them, they'll say, okay, you know what, we'll agree to pay you back, okay? But if you don't fight them, then they're like, great. Okay? So it's extremely unethical. And so that's what managers do every day. Think of new ways to screw over their patients and doctors. All right, so why is this happening? All right, why is America like this? Why is the West like this? Why is the entire world like this? So this is Franz Kafka, and he was writing before World War I. This is his most famous book called The Trial. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys have read this book or heard of this book. Okay, it's very good. And the novel, it's a very interesting novel because the main character, Joseph K., he works at a bank. He's a bank clerk. And he has never gotten into trouble his entire life, okay? He's very obedient. He's very nice. He just sticks to himself. And then one day, the police come and arrest him. The police don't tell him why. And Joseph K. tries to figure out why, but he does not know what he did wrong. He does not know why he's being arrested. And then he's put on trial. And the judge doesn't tell him what he did wrong. Okay? And Joseph K. is trying to figure out why this happened to me, okay? And this is his answer. Its purpose is to arrest innocent people and wage pointless prosecutions against them, which, as in my case, lead to no result. How are we to avoid those in office becoming deeply corrupt when everything is devoid of meaning? Okay? Because society has become a bureaucracy, and bureaucrats need things to do. So the police go and arrest innocent people and then send them to trial, okay? Now, what he doesn't say is, the police could arrest criminals, right? But the police don't want to do that because the criminals might fight back. Or the criminals might be mean, okay? They rather arrest an innocent person because they know the person will be compliant. Okay, that's the logic of bureaucrats. How do I justify my existence by doing as little work as possible? Okay? So, this sounds strange, but let me tell you a story. This is a true story. I'm in Toronto with my 2 boys, and I let them run around the park, okay? And we've been doing this for 2 months. So I trust them. one of my boys, he's 4 years old, he runs too far, and I lose track of him, okay? A stranger finds him and starts talking to him, but my boy doesn't speak any English. So people now surround my boy, like, where are your parents? And he is scared because he doesn't speak any English. So he faints, okay? That's what he does, he faints to protect himself. So they call the police, and they call the paramedics. They come, and they make sure he's all right, okay? Now I find him, okay? And now the police interview me, they interrogate me, and I explain to him what happened. And at this point, they just let us go home, right? But they insist on taking us to the hospital. I'm like, if we go to the hospital, we could be stuck there for like 12 hours. We can be in line, and like the paramedics, the MAT has already told us there's something wrong with him. Okay, it's not heat stroke, he just fainted. But he's fine. His vital signs are fine. But the police kept on insisting. Meanwhile, there's a fight going on at the park. Okay? And I'm thinking to myself, why are you guys bothering me and not going to arrest those guys who are fighting somewhere else? And the answer is because it's easier to deal with me than it is to go arrest those guys. Okay? That's how bureaucrats think. They're always thinking of ways to justify their existence, but not do real work. Okay? And that's the message of the trial. Eventually, society becomes so bureaucratic that the bureaucrats only think about how to make problems for ordinary citizens, because life becomes easier for them. Okay? Does that make sense?